this one against Andrew Johnson. First pitch from Johnson is in there for strike one at 93 miles an hour, a minute early at 12:01 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:01 Pacific. Glad you could join us here on Big Ten Plus, wherever you may be watching from. 0-1 from Johnson to Neville. Thought about it, did not go. Doesn't matter, it's a strike anyways. 0-2 the count. Andrew Johnson, an interesting one, has not started for Maryland in 2 years. His last start came against James Madison on April 19th, 2023. 0-2 the count to Neville. It bounces to the plate. It's 1-2. That day for Johnson, he only went 1 inning and gave up 4 runs. The Terps, though, came back and won that game by a score of 19-12. That's what that 2023 Maryland team did. A lot. 1-2 the count. Lefty-lefty matchup here to Neville. The pitch bends into the zone. Called strike 3. Andrew Johnson gets his first start in 2 years off to a good start.
Yeah, that's not easy to strike out Neville looking. He's one of the best leadoff men in the Big Ten, and that's kind of been the story of Andrew Johnson's career. When he's in the zone, it's really hard to hit. His problem has been getting ahead in the count. He did it there, and that's how, if you're Maryland and you're Matt Swope and you're going to keep Johnson in this game, he's got to get strike 1.
Now it's Dominic Hellman, the designated hitter for this Oregon team. The first pitch to him from Johnson is inside for ball 1. Hellman yesterday went 1 for 4. Drove in the first Oregon run of the day. 1-0 the count here with the senior Johnson on the mound. Pitch is taken down low. On the fastball, it's 2-0.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's feeling really good, Andrew Johnson. He's been 93, 93, 93 with his first 34 seamers today.
2-0 the count here to Hellman. Let's see if he challenges him. Johnson comes set on the mound, lets the pitch clock wind down to 1. The pitch is hit in the air, foul down the first base line and well out of play. So 2-1. Now to Hellman. Johnson comes set on the mound. He kicks and fires home. It's in there at the knees. Umpiring crew today, Donald Goller behind home plate, Kirk Dominic over at first, Dave Susi at second, Joe Cruz over at third. 2-2 the count with 1 down here in the first. Johnson set on the mound and fires. It's fouled back to the screen. And it will remain at 2-2. Good location there on the fastball from Johnson. There, so you see Hellman's numbers. Another guy that can truly mash for this Oregon team.
I mean, you talk about a guy who fills up the batter's box. 6'5" and 250.
2-2 the count here. Pitch from Johnson is swung on and fouled back out of the glove of Calarco. Couldn't hang on to it.
It's a little surprising. That was the first off-speed pitch of this at-bat, and with Hellman, with his size, if he gets a hold of a fastball, it's going to go a long way. But to what you were saying, Jack, the pinpoint command in this AB has allowed Johnson to go fastball heavy.
Another 2-2 incoming from Johnson. This time it's down low, another off-speed pitch. And the count runs full. Johnson set on the mound. And here comes the payoff. It's again fouled back. Hellman putting up a very good battle here.
I think Johnson right there is trying to climb the ladder in full count with the fastball. It's got such nice ride to it from that high arm slot. It's so hard to hit up in the zone. He did slightly miss below, and he's got to be careful if he wants to go with another full count heater if he misses his location.
Another payoff from Johnson is taken down low and inside for ball 4. And the Ducks have a 1-out base runner in Hellman.
Really good at bat there by Hellman. He waited to get his pitch. He was aggressive once he got to 2 strikes with everything in the zone. He was able to take a 2-2 slider in the dirt to get it full. Really just professional at bat. And for Oregon to get to an early lead once again, having runners on with less than 2 outs is the right way to do it.
That'll bring up the all-time home run leader for the Ducks and Jacob Walsh. Walsh hitting .346 on the year. Lefty matchup. First pitch to him. Taken outside, ball one. There you see only 8 homers on the year, but not bad at all considering how many other guys are stepping up in the power department for Oregon. 1-0 the count, lefty again. Down low. And it is 2-0. Johnson's been really good coming out of the bullpen against lefties. But when he falls behind, that's when things can tend to get a bit dicey. 2-0 the count. Pitch from Johnson is fouled back. 2-1 now. He's, again, good location on that fastball. Right in the inside corner. Walsh is obviously a very good hitter and can speed up his bat and do something with that, but it's pretty complicated too.
But that's where Johnson's great. It's when he can attack that inner half of the plate with his heavy fastball.
Especially against lefties. 2-1. Thought about it. Did not go. On a pitch down low.
The other thing, too, with that fastball in the inner half that was just fouled off by Walsh, that sets up that slider away because you're changing the vision of the hitter and also the line as well, as that pitch was in the right-handed batter's box, whereas he went high and in with the heater just the pitch before.
3-1 the count. To Jacob Walsh. Johnson looks over at first, now comes back home, fires on the outside corner. Walsh thought it was ball 4, but Johnson pinpointed that one perfectly.
He's taking his time, too, coming back to the plate. He really did not like that call.
I think time's going to be called by Oregon here. I think that's partially to calm down Walsh, but at the same time, the pitch clock rolls. And you do not want to see him strike out. He's saying pretty upset, I think, with that call. It was the right call, I believe.
The other thing, too, with calling time there, you just had a pitcher on the mound in Johnson, just dotted a 3-1 heater. You feel like he might start getting some rhythm, so you call time. You make him reset because he has no other option. Make him overthink potentially, and in a full count with the runner on already, that's the perfect time to call time.
It is a full count. Runner on first here with 1 down. Johnson set and fires. In there, bottom part of the zone, called strike 3. The fastball working for Andrew Johnson early in this one.
It's a gift that keeps on giving when it's in the zone, right? When that fastball is in the zone, it plays up against any hitter. Looking at it again here, I mean, that's art. That's painting the corner.
Really nicely done by Johnson there, but it doesn't get any easier, as here's Maddox Maloney. Saw him on the list of the top 8 home run hitters in the Big Ten. Here's the first pitch to him. He cuts on and misses at that one. Another nicely located fastball.
Everything's been 92 to 94, too. This is a legitimate fastball. It's heavy, meaning that when hitters make contact, it's hard to hit it hard, for lack of better terms.
0-1 here, outside. And it's 1-1.
He's got that high arm slot, too, so it plays up in the zone as well. See a lot of guys in the big leagues with that high arm slot use a fastball in 2 strike counts in the upper part of the zone just because of the trajectory. That's what makes Johnson so good when he's in the strike zone.
There you see just the absurd numbers for Maddox Maloney as he takes that one down low. Runner going to second. Calarco throw down in time.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
So the man who's tied for the Big Ten lead in home runs with 15. Pitch from Johnson. Outside with the fastball. And it's 1-1.
You know, you'd think maybe guy at the plate in this situation may lay down a bunt, but given the season Neville's having, I don't think that's a possibility.
1-1. Is hit sharply by Neville into deep right field. Leaping is Hill. He can't get it as it one-hops the wall. Runners had to be held up for a second throw. The cutoff man in Orr comes home, not in time, and it's an RBI double for Mason Neville. Oregon with a 1-0 lead at the Bob.
So that whole thing about not bunting and it not being a possibility, that's why. Another look at it here. Perfect swing, flat through the zone. 103 off the bat, a slider that was just left a little bit up by Johnson, and I think Hill took a bit of a questionable route to that ball, wasn't directly in line. Either way, that ball was laced, though. Great job by Oregon getting the first 3 on in the first run of the game.
Now up comes Hellman. With first base open, runners on second and third here with still nobody out. Potential for a big inning here for the Ducks. First pitch down low. And it's 1-0. Johnson set on the mound, fires the 1-0. Again downstairs, squirts by Calarco, but not far enough for Garate over at third to come home.
And now Johnson's in a really tough situation because you can't afford to miss in against Hellman with his frame. That ball will get absolutely torpedoed, right, if you miss inside. So you just got to hope you can execute on the outer half.
2-0. Pitch from Johnson is hit sharply. Hakopia makes a diving play, throws over to third in time to tag out the runner, but coming home is Garate for the run. So an RBI fielder's choice as Hellman's on first, and it's 2-0 Ducks.
Another look at it. Johnson misses inside. Great play by Hakopian, though. I mean, that saved potentially 2 runs from scoring. But if you're Johnson, missed on the inner half, wanted to go away where Calarco was set up, 117 off the bat.
My goodness. That's one of the hardest hit balls that I have seen here at Maryland. As up steps Walsh. First pitch to him is taken down low. That's a play, though. Obviously, you can't fault Hakopian for the stop. He probably could have gone home with that.
Yeah, but in your head, when you're trained as a shortstop, you see a runner go from second to third, less than 2 outs, your mind immediately goes throw to third base. Every single time.
1-0. Upstairs, it's 2-0, and again, Johnson falling behind, and not the order you want to fall behind against.
Not at all, especially this part of the order, right? 1, 2, 3, now facing the 3-hole hitter in Walsh.
2-0 count. Pitch home. Down low, it's 3-0. And again, one of the lefties you have in Walsh, one you really do not want to lose if you're Johnson.
Especially when you're a ground ball away from getting out of it, too.
3-0 here. Johnson comes home. It's outside, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Worked by Jacob Walsh. And the Ducks are back in business.
I think this is a good mound visit by Calarco, too. Just settle down your pitcher. Also gives your pen some time to get going. Because you got to figure a guy who's not a starter normally, right? He has starting experience, but not for, as you mentioned, 2 years. You're going to have to eventually get those arms going.
So now it's Maddox Maloney. Lefty-righty matchup. Doubled his first time up off of the batter's eye. It was, again, about a foot left of being a home run. And he takes a huge hack at a fastball right down the middle and misses.
Can you blame him?
Not at all. 0-1 the count. To the shortstop, Maloney. 0-1 is hit foul. It's 0-2.
You know, given the last AB for Maloney, kind of shocked 2 fastballs to start off, right? Maybe try to change the eye level, try to get him fishing, but Johnson going right after him to his credit.
0-2 here from Johnson. Inside.
It's a good miss. It's a good miss. Now you can potentially set something out on the outer half. That was a borderline call there. You could also go right back in there if you want to, because that wasn't an easy take for a hitter like Maloney.
1-2. Fouled back. Again, a fastball, middle.
Tried to go in. You saw Clarko set up on the inner half. And Johnson just leaked over the plate a little bit. That's the danger with going on the inside part of the plate, right? We saw it with Hellman when they tried to go inside on him, and then it was over the middle of the plate.
One, two, the count. To Maloney. Johnson throws back to second. Back in plenty of time is Dominic Hellman. One, two. Johnson looks back at second. Now comes home, and it's hit sharply by Maloney into center field. Lambros takes a couple steps back, makes the catch. Hellman fakes the tag and forces a throw, but holds up at second, and they're now 2 down.
Big out number 2 there. Ginormous out number 2. Because now you got a guy coming up to the plate who in his last AB laid down the bunt, right? So he has the ability to play the small ball game. If that ball falls, potentially bases loaded, or if a runner scores, now he can really do anything at the plate.
But a guy you still have to be careful with. Even though he did do that small ball last time up, he's hitting .281 with 10 bombs on the year. That is Ansoneros, the switch hitter. Hitting from that right side. First pitch to him is hit softly on the infield. Eddie Hakopian under it and makes the catch for the out. Inning is over, but not before the Ducks do some damage. They lead 2-0 after a couple of nice pieces of hitting.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
It's a 2-1 count here. It's down low, 3-1. Over its last 10, Hakopian hitting .211.
Might be the first time since he's been in college that he struggled.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-1 to him now. Hitters count. Clark comes home. Pitch taken for a strike. Good pitch right on the outside corner. You cannot place that any better.
That's a pitcher's pitch right there. That's the Colin Clark that's been so good for Oregon all year long.
Well, now a full count to the sophomore Hakopian. Incoming from Clark. Taken down low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Hollis Porter. A situation for Oregon now that you do not want.
Not at all, and especially with Hollis Porter at the plate. Got fooled on a first pitch changeup in his last AB, but you got to figure that Clark doesn't really have a lot of confidence in his off speed right now to be able to locate it. Probably going to get a fastball or two in this AB, and a guy in Porter who puts the ball in the air really well.
Especially against right-handed pitching. First pitch to Porter is an off-speed pitch that he tipped foul. Good pitch from Clark there, fooling him.
It's a good pitch. You also know that Porter's a pretty aggressive hitter, right? He's going to go get his pitch. Really nice job fooling cleanup hitter from Maryland there.
0-1 from Clark. Porter chops it over towards second. The second baseman, Cooney, has it, fires to first in time for the out, but the run comes home. Hollis Porter gets the job done, brings home a run, and the Terps are on the board.
It's a win-win, right? You get the out, you get a run if you're Maryland. It's a little frustrating, though, if you're Hollis Porter, right? You know in that situation you're probably going to get 1 to 2, maybe even 3 fastballs.
And they're intentionally walking Calarco again.
Wow.
I was just about to point that out. They did this almost in the exact same situation, except with 2 outs in the first. And they're doing it again here. So the bases will be loaded for Jacob Orr.
I don't know if I've ever seen a college hitter intentionally walked twice in one game.
Especially in the first 3 innings.
And you're winning.
Yeah. Here is Jacob Orr. First pitch outside, ball 1. Orr lined out sharply his first time up to right field when he was intentionally walked. to get the bases loaded. 1-0. Orr hits it in the air, center field. Going back on it is Neville. He should have room. Now comes in a bit and makes the catch, throws over to third, but it won't matter as Brayden Martin comes home. Chris Akopian stays at second. Job done by Jacob Orr. And the Terps have tied the game up at 2.
He's had an incredible series so far, and that's a great job. You see Martin trotting in to tie up the game. Situational hitting. Orr knows if he gets that ball into the outfield in the air, that's going to give a chance for Martin to score. Pitcher's up in the zone. Not an easy pitch to hit if you're Orr. Great job there, situationally hitting and tying the game up for your squad.
Up steps Aiden Hill. First pitch to him is taken down low for ball 1. Hill struck out his first time up. That's a pitch, usually in that situation, you walk Calarco. You figure you're playing for that double play and the force is any base. I'm shocked he didn't keep that ball low. 1-0 to Aiden Hill. Hill hits it foul down the third baseline just in front of his head coach.
Yeah, and back to your point about that pitch being up in the zone, you're absolutely right. You got the force play, ground ball ends it if you get the double play. I think that one just missed. And I think in an inning when the command hasn't been there for Clark, we've seen a lot of misses.
1-1 the count. Pitch to Hill, he holds up on a pitch down low. It's 2-1. And runners at first and second. Already 2 across this inning for the Terps here with 2 out. 2-1. Hill does not hold up that time. Good pitch from Colin Clark. It's been the off-speed, I think that's working more this inning in terms of command-wise. It's the fastball that's he's had trouble locating.
Yeah, that off-speed has saved him. You saw it against Hollis Porter, and then you see it there with Hill. It's working really well.
Deuce is wild. 2 with 2 on, 2 outs. That ball down low. And the count goes full.
It's hard to say not be aggressive in this count if you're Aiden Hill because you don't want fastball strike 3 by you.
3-2 is hit sharply by Hill, but right at the second baseman, Coney. He's got it. Fires over to first in time for the out. So after giving up 2 in the top half of the third, the Terps respond with 2 of their own. Jacob Orr with a big sac fly after the intentional walk. So here is Brayden Martin against Colin Clark. First pitch is taken outside for a ball. A pair of singles for Martin so far today. It was 1 through the right side, 1 on a line into left center. Now you can really just spray it all over in Martin. 1-0. Taken for a strike. Nice pitch on the corner there. Painted well. So 1-1 to Martin. Clark fires down low. It's 2-1.
The other thing cool about Oregon traveling all this way, it's not as if their fans did it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of green and yellow in the stands.
It's phenomenal to see. 2-1. Down low. 3-1 to Martin. Oregon also going to play Georgetown tomorrow. If you're out here, you might as well play someone different in midweek game. Of course, obviously not in the middle of the week, but on a Monday. 3-1. Martin takes outside, ball 4. Leadoff walk worked by Brayden Martin. Second time today the Terps have had a leadoff walk. First time was back in the third, and that resulted in 2 runs for Maryland. Up steps Chris Akopian, who's reached on an error and walked today. He looks to do battle with Clark. First pitch, Akopian takes in the zone for strike 1.
I think it's fair to say that Maryland may want to think about sending Brayden Martin here only because, and I know you got the media order up, so it's hard to say that, right, with nobody out, but just to cause some havoc and put some pressure on Oregon.
Throw over to check on him. They're probably thinking the same thing you are. I don't know if I'd send him here again with this part of the order up and the long ball potential from the next 3 guys.
It's a very fair point. Really got to pick your spots, if you will, when it comes to that debate.
0-1 to Chris Akopian is grounded foul down the third base line. I think that's one of the reasons why Martin only has 5 steals on the year.
Yeah, because you got so much power. You know, whatever the order is, 3, 4, 5, right? Whether it's Chris, Hollis, Calarco like it is today, or if Hollis, Chris, Calarco, whatever it might be, it's 3 guys that can put the ball over the fence anywhere on the field.
Hakopian has to protect now. 0-2. He's down in the count. Pitch is hit softly foul down the third base line. We'll do it again.
I mean, Calarco's got to be the first 5-hole hitter ever walked intentionally twice in a game.
Yeah, we'll see
I don't
if they
have
do
the
it again.
stats on that, but that's incredible.
0-2 to Chris Akopian. Outside for ball 1. Big secondary from Brayden Martin over there.
I think maybe he's trying to apply the pressure on Oregon as well, see if he can get Meggers a little bit, you know,
uneasy.
Nerved up. Yeah.
1-2 outside again. And it's 2-2. Maybe force a throw down to first. Who knows what happens if it goes into right field then. Just something that Oregon did so well yesterday was putting the pressure on these Maryland defenders to make a play. 2-2. Throw over. Smart, I think, there from Clark.
I agree. And also, you got to think back to the bottom of the first. You know, he put the ball in play. Oregon made an error. They looked to be a little bit too energized, right? The butterflies were going, start of a game. Try to get that back inside the heads of these Oregon defenders if you're Maryland.
2-2 to Chris Akopian. Pitch from Clark is softly hit into left center field. Neville going over. He won't get there. It'll fall. Chris Akopian rounding first, heading to second. Brayden Martin getting into third. Chris Akopian has a double with nobody out. And the Terps might be in business again.
Excellent at-bat by Akopian. Gets the 2 strikes. He's ahead of that off-speed pitch, a little bit off balance, but the strength allowed that ball to carry into the left center gap. Martin was going the whole time. He knew that was going to fall. He made a good read on it as a base runner. And now your 2 best power options are up. Runners at second and third, nobody out. You got to capitalize if you're Maryland.
Clark back on the bump. Now in a tough spot for him. First pitch to Hollis Porter. Pair of groundouts today. Swung on and missed. He is really, really not seeing the off-speed well.
And I was just thinking, that's the pitch you got to go with. Don't give him a fastball if you don't have to. He swung at off-speed every single time he's been at the plate. Change up first time, off-speed second time with the slider.
0-1. Clark deals. Porter fouls it back. Well, you're looking for the strikeout here if you're Oregon because I think you know what's coming if they strike out Porter.
That's true.
With first base open and Calarco on deck.
And honestly, probably the first time that I would somewhat agree with it.
0-2. Clark fires. Porter rips it into right field for a base hit. Martin comes home. Hakopian held up at third, and Hollis Porter gives Maryland the lead. An RBI single scorched off the bat at 107. And it's 3-2 Terps.
Not sure why they threw him a fastball. He's not seeing any off-speed pitch too well. The swings are off balance. And on top of it, you just threw a changeup to him the previous pitch. All you're doing is speeding up his bat.
Well, now with first base open, a runner on first, excuse me, you probably don't want Calarco here, so he's going to step into the batter's box for the first time today.
Can't reload the bases with nobody out.
Again, that's the big point. Nobody out here with runners on the corners. First pitch to Calarco's taken down low for a ball. Again, the first pitch Alex Calarco has seen today. Was intentionally walked his first 2 times up. (1-0) is hit through the hole on the right-hand side, past the glove of Walsh. Hakopian comes in to score. Porter heads to third. It's back-to-back RBI singles for Maryland as Kalarko comes through and makes it 4-2.
Maybe they should have walked him. Nice play by Kalarko, though. Didn't square it up by any stretch. Just put it in play. Walsh misplayed that at first base, just trying to go for the one-hand scoop. Dropping to his knees, too. Now Maryland with a 2-run lead. How about that?
And still nobody out in the inning. Jacob Orr at the plate at a sac fly as last time up, as we're going to see a mound visit here. And is this going to be a change?
Might have to be.
They do have a righty warming up. Would not be shocked at all. So Logan Hastings back out there for Maryland, now pitching with the lead. 4-2 Terps here in the 6th, as that one is fouled back by Chase Meggers. And it's 0-1 to him. Meggers 0 for 2 today. 7-8-9 due up. Again, what's been a pretty dangerous part of the order for the Ducks so far this weekend. 0-1. Meggers squares. It's a breaking ball that misses way upstairs. And it's 1-1. (1-1) from Hastings to Meggers. He squares this time, gets it down, but it's foul. And you figure he'll be swinging away now on a 1-2 count.
It's going to be huge for Hastings, who struggled a bit with command. He's had problems with that all year. He's got to fill it up. I mean, this is a golden opportunity for Maryland.
1-2 here from Logan Hastings. The pitch is hit well by Meggers into deep left center field. Lambros drifting over. He makes the catch on the run. I think Meggers got that one just off the end of the bat, but another one that he's going to want back.
Yeah, he just pulled off. That pitch was middle. His weight and momentum were going towards right field. If that momentum goes straight back up the middle, as you see another replay of it as it's flared into left center. I mean, that ball, that was hit at 92 miles an hour, by the way, and that's with it coming off the end of the bat.
Strength there. Feels like everyone on this Oregon team can just hit the ball so hard. First pitch to Cooney is skied high in the air, shallow right field. Orr drifting out. Hill coming in. Hill calls off Orr and makes the catch for the out. So quickly 2 down. Good work by Hastings early, and that'll bring up Carter Garate, who has been hit by the pitch attempting to bunt so far today in both plate appearances.
Good start for Hastings, though, this inning, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's killing it.
But you got to get Garate here. You don't want to face the top of this order. First pitch in there, outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1 to the third baseman, Garate. Pitch from Hastings, taking down low, curveball there. (1-1) the count with 2 down. Hastings fires a fastball upstairs. 2-1 now. Hastings' fastball, it's not going to light you up with velocities. Sits around 87 to 90 area. But what it is going to light you up with is the movement.
Absolutely.
2-1 is hit in the air by Garate. Left field. Wilson drifting over towards the line. He makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Logan Hastings. He has been very good since coming in and holds the lead for the Terps. 4-2 here on Big Ten Plus. First pitch to Wilson. He's taken outside for ball 1. Well, Wilson today is 0 for 2. With a ground out and a strikeout. 1-0. Wilson takes in there for strike 1. Big inning for Maryland. After leaving a couple on in the last inning, the Terps really hoping to add on here. As that one's down low, it's 2-1. Felt like a missed opportunity there for Maryland. Even though they get the 2 runs in the 5th, you don't want to leave runners on the corners.
Yeah, but it was just a stroke of bad luck. It's not as if they walked themselves into 3 outs. More they lined themselves into 3 outs. That was just a one-of-one type play.
2-1, misses down low. It's 3-1 to Liam Wilson. Again, both innings where the Terps have led off the inning with a walk have resulted in multiple runs. So 3-1 is taken outside corner for a strike. Now it's 3-2 to Wilson. Down low, ball 4, and Wilson is aboard via the walk. So again, 3rd time today, the Terps have led off an inning with a walk. The previous 2 worked out all right for them.
Yes, it did. And now you got Lambros coming to the plate. Another look at it here. Right call. That pitch was well below the zone.
Meggers is a phenomenal framer of the ball, by the way.
Absolutely. He's done that a few times today, actually, where he's done a great job framing it. You can see Garate at 3rd's expecting the bunt. I wouldn't be shocked if Lambros lays one down.
He does square. He does get it down. It's a really good one. Garate coming in, fires to first, beats Lambros by about a half step. But the sacrifice successful there for Elijah Lambros, 5-3, as Wilson heads up to 2nd, and Eddie Hakopian heads to the plate.
Win-win right there. If you're Oregon, you get the out. If you're Maryland, you get the runner in scoring position, and you get the top of the order up now with the runner in scoring position.
That was a phenomenal bunt, though, by Lambros.
Oh, textbook.
If Garate's not playing very far in, that's usually going to be a hit.
That's textbook right there by Lambros.
So here is Eddie Hakopian, now with the runner on 2nd. First pitch to him, down low. And you got Hakopian, who's 0 for 2 today with a walk, but has hit the ball hard. 1-0 taken by Hakopian on the outside corner. But then after him, you got Brayden Martin, who has been phenomenal today with a pair of singles and a walk. 1-1. Hakopian squares. Did he pull it back in time? Yes, he did, according to the first base umpire, Kirk Dominic.
Now, see, there I'm a little confused with laying down the bunt when a guy who's had really good swings at the plate and has seen the ball really well.
He does like to bunt for a hit occasionally. He does have decent speed. 2-1. Inside, 3-1. You do not want to walk Hakopian here, again, to get to Martin, who's been hitting the ball very well today. (3-1) from Featherston, down low, ball 4. And it is a walk worked by Eddie Hakopian. And it's runners on 1st and 2nd for Brayden Martin. I think if there were no outs, then you would expect the bunt here, but still could happen. So there you see a replay, clearly low, but again, Meggers does a phenomenal job of framing the ball. He makes everything look like a strike.
I think you're right about no out situation with 2 runners on. You'd see a bunt laid down. I think you let Martin swing here, though. He's been swinging a hot bat.
First pitch to him is taken outside. Also, you got to remember, Featherston's walked 2 in this inning. Again, if they're going to give you first base, you take first base, as we're going to see a mound meeting here. Nobody warming up in the Oregon bullpen. So I think this is just a calm down mound meeting for the Ducks. One, 2, or 1-0, excuse me, the count to him with 2 runners on. Pitch taken at the knees. Good frame again from Meggers.
I was just about to say, that is the best frame job he's had all day. That was natural. That was A pitch that was borderline, and also he had the conviction with it too, where he threw it back right away as if he knew that was a strike.
1-1. Outside corner. Again, Meggers is phenomenal at framing behind the dish. And he's really brought back in 2 strikes.
When you consistently are able to frame, you're going to get strikes stolen. You see a southpaw warming up for the Ducks.
That's Sam Boyle. 1-2. Martin chops it foul down the first base line. Big spot for Featherston as he tries to get out of this. You figure Boyle's in there if it gets to Hollis Porter. One, 2 the count to Martin. Pitch outside, ball 2. So the count evened up with 1 down and 2 on. 2-2 to Brayden Martin is taken inside. Count runs full. Impressive from Martin to take it back to 3-2.
I think being patient here is the right call. Make him get strike 3.
3-2 outside, ball 4. It's the 3rd walk issued by Featherston this inning. And now it's Chris Hakopian, and considering his struggles against left-handed pitching, would not be shocked to see a change right here.
And on top of that too, and I'll save it for when he does eventually come in the game, but Boyle is deceptive to say the least with his arm action.
They are going to leave in Featherston, it looks like, to face Chris Hakopian. First pitch, Hakopian takes down low. Again, Hakopian is weird. He has reverse splits. It's 160 against lefties and 402 against righties coming into this one. 1-0. Hakopian takes down low. It's 2-0. Also, not even for the matchup, but just for the command, Featherston is really having a hard time throwing strikes right now.
And nowhere to put Chris Hakopian if he loses him here.
2-0. Hakopian takes inside, ball 3.
No reason that bat should come off the shoulder of Chris Hakopian. Absolutely none.
He has swung 3-0 before, but I think in this situation, it is a very likely red light for him now.
You don't want to also roll over and set up the double play to end it too. Take all the way.
3-0. Hakopian takes all the way. It's ball 4, and a run is walked in. Pitch misses in. Chris Hakopian walks to first. Liam Wilson walks home, and it's 5-2 Terps.